I came back from work to find my life tossed across the grass. Shirts tangled in hedges, shoes lying in the dirt, a jacket soaked by a sprinkler still running. It looked less like a mistake and more like a message. I didn't shout or pound on the door. I already knew something was wrong. The key didn't turn. The lock was new. A piece of paper was taped to the door, written in familiar handwriting. Think about what you've done. So I did. For 3 years, I carried that house alone. Every mortgage payment, every utility bill, every repair that kept the walls standing came from my pocket. Inside, my wife, Mara, and her 3 sisters lived comfortably, sleeping late, ordering food, calling it family support. None of them worked. None of them planned to. Whenever I brought it up, they smiled and said we were all in this together. But family doesn't throw your clothes onto a lawn. Family doesn't lock you out for asking for balance. I had finally spoken up 2 days earlier. I showed them the numbers, calm and clear, like a man explaining gravity. We were drowning financially. If I was going to keep paying for everything, things had to change.
Jobs.
Contributions. Less spending. The room went cold. Mara stared at me like I'd betrayed her. Her oldest sister scoffed. The youngest laughed like it was a joke. I knew then something had snapped, but I didn't expect exile. That night, I slept in my car. There's a special kind of silence that hits at 2 a.m. when you're staring at your own face in the rearview mirror, realizing you gave too much to people who never planned to give anything back. I didn't rage. I didn't beg. I organized. The next morning, I called an attorney. The quiet type. The kind who listens more than he speaks and smiles when the math works in his favor. Then I shut down every automatic payment tied to my name. Mortgage.
Power.
Water. Internet.
Gone.
After that, I pulled a year's worth of statements. Every delivery order. Every salon charge. Every subscription. All of it paid by me while they played house. I started collecting evidence. Messages. Screenshots. Recordings. Even footage from the security system they forgot existed. I learned my home had been used for side businesses I never approved, short-term rentals, private events, cash-only deals. They bragged online about living rent-free. Mara even posted, "People are temporary. Property is forever." I saved that one. I disappeared for a month. No contact. No arguments. Just watched quietly as consequences crept in. Late notices arrived. Complaints stacked up. Utilities shut off one by one. Online, they blamed the bank, the system, bad luck. They never once blamed themselves. Then we moved. My lawyer filed for separation of financial responsibility and submitted proof of exploitation. He also dug into the deed. I had added Mara's name years ago. Her sisters were never on it. I still owned the majority. Through a small company I created, we negotiated directly with the bank and repurchased the property under a different name. Legally, the house no longer belonged to me. It belonged to my company. The eviction notice arrived shortly after. I showed up on the final day. The yard looked like a bargain bin explosion. Black trash bags, scattered furniture, angry voices. Mara ran toward me, face streaked with makeup, screaming that I couldn't do this. I walked past her. Her sisters followed with insults and threats, putting on a show for the neighbors, who watched like it was primetime drama. I climbed the steps, unlocked the door, and went inside. "You changed the locks," she yelled. "No," I said calmly. "I changed the rules." The house was a mess. Scratches, stains, broken things. I didn't care. The door closed behind me. Through the glass, they stood frozen, finally on the outside. Mara mouthed words I couldn't hear. I didn't answer. In my mind, I repeated her note back to her. It took weeks to fix the place. I replaced floors, repainted walls, threw away anything that reminded me of them. I blocked every number. The messages came anyway, angry at first, then apologetic, then desperate. I never replied. She taught me something important. Kindness without limits turns into submission. Love without boundaries becomes a leash. I don't hate her. Hate would mean there's something left. There isn't. I feel steady. I feel distant. I feel free. They wanted me to think about my actions. I did, and I acted accordingly. The only regret I have is waiting so long to choose myself.